This is going to be the tutorial video for the VR component of Interactive Paint. You can either download the last year's materials or you can start from a new Unity project yourself. It's not going to matter. Make sure you watch the installation video to make sure you have all components. So for this video we're going to make a new scene. Make sure you be able to hit the Scene tab in Unity. As you can see right here, we really don't have much of anything. It's just going to be an empty 3D world. The first thing you're going to want to do is delete the main camera because it's not going to be able to be used by the VR. What you'll need to do is go into Steam VR once you have the plugin installed into your project. Go to Prefabs and you'll have a camera rig. This will include both the camera for the Steam VR as well as both controllers and the models. This parent prefab right here is going to be your camera. Make sure you don't move around any of the components or you'll disorient the user. So what we're going to need to do is make a floor. You can easily do that by making a plane, setting it resistance 0, 0, 0, and we'll make it a little here and here. Oh, whoops. Position should be 0, 0, 0. So that'll be directly under the camera. After that, you can start adding textures and lighting and things like that. But now we have a ground to work with. The user will be able to see this world in 3D as long as you hit play. I don't currently have the Vive connected to my computer, so I can't quite show this off. The next thing you're going to want to do is create some objects for the user to interact with. Just for example, we're just going to make a small cube, and we're going to put this back here. Let's move it over here. And you're going to have to, for Unity's default 3D materials, you're going to have to size them down a little bit. So let's set the scale to 0.2 for everything. Now look about an average size. So for a user to be able to interact with any objects, it's going to need two things. One of them comes with Unity's default things, is this box collider, which is going to be its hitbox, for lack of a better term. You're also going to need a rigid body, which basically gives any object its physics. You don't need to do anything to these components, but what you're going to need to do right now is give it a new script from the VRTK. So you can either use the script directly from the Virtual Reality Toolkit, or you can make a new script and extend from it as long as you give it the using VRTK statement. You'll need to give it, which one is it? Interactable object. So you can either extend interactable object or you can give it this script right here. And this will make the cube able to be picked up by the user. There's a bunch of settings set up in the script already. Make sure you toggle it as is grabbable or is usable for each one. In order to actually interact with it, we're going to have to give a few more things to the controllers. This is going to have to be set for every individual scene. So in the camera rig prefab, you'll have an item for the left controller and the right controller. These aren't exactly set up at the start. Left and right are kind of temporary names. It's not always going to be the left one. This one's not always going to be the right one. It's kind of randomized whenever a scene starts up, but it's there to help differentiate it. Make sure you read through all the code for the VRTK scripts. They're very helpful, and they'll be used to streamline the process for coding for VR. So, for instance, here's for the first one. For the parent component, if you want to have the teleportation function, you're going to have to give the script basic teleport, or another teleport. It's, I think, height adjust teleport, which extends from the basic teleport function if you want to be able to have the camera move vertically during the teleport. Make sure you put that into the camera rig parent. You're going to also want to give a Bezier pointer. I believe you give this one to one of the controllers. Yeah. Either the Bezier curve or the straight line. Make sure you give it to both controllers. This one right here, controller actions. And then like before, you can always just make a new script and extend from these if you want to give it a little bit more customization. Controller events, which will let the controller know which buttons are being pressed for any object. Interact grab, interact touch, interact use. I think that's about it. There's a lot of the scripts here. It's a little confusing, but if you just look through the code for it in the comments, the creator, the Stone Fox, has been very helpful. There's a lot of functions for each one. Like for instance, with your Bezier pointer, you can change the color. All you got to do is use the inspector in Unity, and it'll be able to change a lot of these sensitive options. So we look at interact grab. You have options like hide the controller on grabbing an object. So if you click this box, the controller that's marked as right, whenever you pick up an object, it'll just disappear from the user, so that you only see the object that you're picking up. Things like that. Alright, I highly suggest that you look around and play around with the scripts, edit them as you want. If you need more defined controls, I would recommend making your own script and extending from the one that you want to mess around with. Thank you so much for watching.